Hey, to all my friends over at State and your amazing team working at the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs, you are fantastic, and I'm so honored to be part of your community in such a small way. When I look at what you have accomplished during this time of this amazing pandemic and this new time we're in, I am blown away by your tenacity, your grit, your resilience to ensure the mission moves forward. I know that you have worked hard to bring American citizens home, as well as those foreign citizens and programs in the U.S. to return to their countries. I bet you have some amazing stories to tell and how we can rise from it. But let's have this conversation in story format on the front porch. So you see, on May 17th, 1994, at 5:29 p.m., 26 years ago, I was on one of the fastest men on the planet. I ran the 400-meter hurdles. USA Track and Field News had just put me on their ones to watch lists, and I was doing a shakeout in Fort Hays University on their track and field in Fort Hays, Kansas. I was running over the hurdles in a practice session. Then on May 17th, 1994, at 5:30 p.m., my life would forever change with one wrong step. I misstepped the hurdle, landed awkwardly, dislocating my left knee, and subsequently, 7 days later, after being transported to Wesley Medical Center in Wichita, Kansas, and undergoing several vein graft operations, my doctor, Dr. Randy Mullins, told me I had a tough choice to make. I could either keep my limb and use a walker or a wheelchair for the rest of my life, or he could amputate my leg and I would be left to use a prosthesis for the rest of my life. Now, what kind of choice is that? But I was in so much pain, and my male deductive reasoning reasoned said if I could just get rid of my leg, I could just be free of my pain. So I told Dr. Mullins I knew it had to be amputated. Before the surgery, I thought about what that meant. How would my life be after this amputation? What had I just done? Has your life ever changed so dramatically you knew you were never going to get back to the person that you once were? Maybe you are experiencing this through COVID-19, or you are wondering what life will be like for me now. So when I woke up from my surgery, it was 11 o'clock in the night. No one was around me. I was in more pain than my male deductive reasoning had reasoned. And I just wanted something to knock out the pain. I knew there was a morphine drip button that was on my right side. However, I was too weak to roll over and to press the button. So next I thought about calling out to the nurse's aid station. I mean, I could see them right outside of my door, but the tubes that have been down my throat made the sound too inaudible to get their attention. So there I lay in that bed for the next 8 hours with my dangerous thoughts. Who am I now? What's my identity? Will my wife still stay with me? Will my son still value me as his father? Do I still have a job in the United States Army? I mean, can I support my family? My Olympic dreams are over. At 8 a.m., Dr. Mullins comes back in the room. He walks into the hospital room, takes one look at me, and realizes I have done a 180-degree shift in my countenance. He immediately calls my wife, Alice, who, God bless her, she's at the hotel trying to take care of herself, trying to take care of John Jr., her mother-in-law, and she has just found out that because she has been with me for the past 5 days, her job in West Memphis, Arkansas, has just fired her for being away too long. This saint of a woman should have been called the night before, but because I couldn't speak or articulate, no one knew I was awake. And she comes running over and begins to offer assistance. And Dr. Mullins and Alice took 45 minutes to get me out of that bed, into a wheelchair, wheeled out to an inaccessible playground where I was parked. My wheelchair was right there. I was forced to watch my wife and my son play on the swing sets. And I was unable to get out of that chair. And I broke down, started crying uncontrollably. It was the first time I felt devalued, dejected, disabled. Alice saw me struggling and came running over to me. She told me that we would get through this together. It would just be our new normal. When I heard those words, they seemed to baseline my entire existence. There was hope in those words. There was future expectancy in those words. There was empowerment in those words. And I began to realize I did not have to hold on to my past life experience. I could focus on what was now, and what was next. At that moment, John Jr., he jumps off the swing set and comes running over us. Hey, Daddy, see my big jump? You see my big jump, Daddy? See my big jump? And he runs in between Alice and myself. And in this moment, I realized he has just validated me as his father, and he has just created his new normal existence. Here are some of the things I learned. You see, the new normal for me is not a destination. It is a plateau to grow. The new normal is every single thing we do today that is building towards that expected hope, that expected end that is going to be better tomorrow than it actually is today. Secondly, we must surround ourselves with people who are not going to allow us to fail. Negativity breeds like wildfire throughout an organization. You can always find a negative person. They flock together. Hang out with the ones who are optimistic and who are elevating the organization. Normal is the everyday typical occurrence of a thought or an action. We need to recognize that every day there is something new. So therefore, the new normal is not a destination, as we so frequently hear about in the media. Today we are here and I can't wait until things get back to normal. I guess this is our new normal state of existence. We need to develop a ritual. The ritual produces a rhythm, and the rhythm generates our rise. With this new normal mindset, my ritual became swimming. I swam for physical therapy. The ritual turned into a rhythm. I qualified for the 1996 Paralympic swim team. That rhythm generated my rise. I saw athletes on the track at the 1996 Paralympic Games and decided to have a leg made for running. 4 years later, I won the silver medal in the long jump in Sydney, Australia at the Paralympic Games, becoming one of only 2 athletes in the world to jump over 17.5 feet without a leg or a knee at that time. The rise led to legacy. I founded the United States Olympic Committee's Paralympic Military Sport Program, which helps wounded, ill, and injured service members use sports as a tool for their rehabilitation. And this program turned into the Warrior Games. Prince Harry came over in 2013. The Duke of Sussex stopped by to watch the games, to model his Invictus Games. This rise to legacy has now served over 100,000 service members. Think about the rituals you can create that will lead you on to a rise and the legacies you will leave this world. This program brought me to the State Department, and each of you who have helped me grow in understanding this global framework, whether it has been with the U.S. Speakers Program and an amazing trip to the United Arab Emirates, the UAE, baby, where I was able to visit 4 of the 7 Emirates, to a sports envoy in Uzbekistan where I led a master's class, to being part of the Global Sport Mentoring Program and mentoring 4 young future leaders while they visited the United States, and then having the opportunity to actually visit Kazakhstan where my mentee cut the ribbon to a building that would house his vision when he created his plan. I am humbled by your professionalism and dogged determination as you focus on the exchanges, connecting leaders, embracing cultures and values in your fight to make the world a better place. So let's go back on inside and finish up our conversation. Yes, COVID-19 has changed our lives in many aspects of the work environment and home. Our focus needs to be on what we are learning right now, capturing the stories of resilience so we do not forget the lessons we have learned. In my international travels, and maybe in yours as well, I have found consistency when speaking with leaders. Many leaders search for stories from outside sources to inspire their teams, yet they rarely consider the powerful stories within inside themselves. It is the personal stories that I find that inspires teams more profoundly with greater impact. If we get hit with a second wave, some people are going to break, and you can't be the ones to break. You must be the anchors. You have to encourage others to make it through. You must be the inspirers, and we do this best through providing positive stories to our work environment and our other employees. So I am thankful for Assistant Secretary Marie Royce for her leadership, as well as my partners in crime, Trina Bolton and Mac McMahon, and the rest of the great staff there at State. I must give a shout out to my mentor, Ann Cody. Thank you, Ann. Love you so much. I look forward to continuing the working relationship with all of you to promote American values around the world. Every day has opportunities to grow. Each day we get to choose to elevate. Every day we decide what to amputate to embrace our new normal mindset. Go forth, inspire your world, have a great meeting, and stop checking your email while I'm talking.